Hey, what's up guys? Britt Johnson here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Well, please make sure you subscribe to my channel while you're watching. You might as well. And also follow me on all social media accounts at I am Britt Johnson. Now, today, what I'm going to be talking about is the NCAA. I mean, it's almost football season, so might as well talk some NCAA. Now, there's been a lot of issues regarding the NCAA and players and why the NCAA doesn't pay the players, but then if you do pay them, then they become professionals, and it's just this whole big drama and nobody knows what to do about it. Now, the ACC alone, let's just talk about one conference. The ACC alone, off of March Madness alone, makes about $38 million a year, and the NCAA makes over $1 billion a year. 81% of that is in television and marketing sales, and like 11% of that is championships. Only about 2 to 4% actually comes from investments and from people donated money. So I don't want you guys to go off and say, well, oh, people donate, so yada, yada. No. The majority of that money, that $1 billion that the NCAA is making every year, comes from those endorsements, those television deals, and marketing, which obviously has to do with these players. A lot of these players are not making it to a professional level. Like, they're not playing pro. Some of the greatest players get hurt in college, and we never even see what they get to do on a field or court. So it's not necessarily that they weren't good enough. A lot of them get injured. We all know for the NFL in college, you have to be in college for 3 years, playing for 3 years before you can go into the NFL. Basketball is a little bit different. It's one and done. You only have to play 1 year, so it's a little less, worry there. But for football, when these guys are getting so hurt, it's ridiculous. I have what I think is a solution to this answer, because I don't think it's just like, oh, well, these guys are already getting paid because they're going to school. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, Josh Rosen, the quarterback from UCLA, definitely came out and said that it's really difficult and damn near impossible for a kid to be an athlete and a student at the same time and excel at both. Obviously, we know guys like Richard Sherman excelled at that. He was a genius in the classroom and he killed it on the football field. But he is not the norm. He is the exception. So I don't think players should get paid while they're in college. I don't. But I do think they need to start putting the names on the backs of the jerseys that they are selling, number one. They took the names off the backs of the selling jerseys so they wouldn't have to pay the players. But when I was in college, I went to school in the era, and everyone had Reggie Bush had just left, but I knew when people wore that number 5 USC jersey that it was because they loved Reggie Bush. It didn't matter that his name was on it or not. So put their names back on it and start setting up some kind of fund where these players are getting a percentage of whatever jersey sells that is being made while they're playing, number one. 2, I think every player should get like a chunk of money. So, you get your stipend every month. Say it's $1,200 or whatever the case is, and that's to live off of. There needs to be additional compensation for maybe any championships your team had that year, anything that your team did, any TV ratings, all that kind of stuff. Percentage of that needs to be handed out to the players in general. Like, all the players that played on this particular team, we had a televised game, we got $10 million from the game, say whatever it is, 30% of that, or whatever you want to call it, goes back to the players. Each player gets a percentage of that money. That's fair. And you put it in a fund, set it aside, and the players do not get it until after they're paid. So then you don't run into the whole idea of, okay, once they're getting paid, they're no longer amateurs, they're pros now. So that's how I think you should get around it. I also think maybe you shouldn't make people go to college. I mean, granted, I do think for football, they probably need a couple years under their belt before they can go play way bigger guys like the NFL. But if you're not going to pay these players, you should give these players an option to decide to maybe go a semi-pro route like they do with baseball, or just lower your standards a little bit. Like maybe just have it be 2 years removed, or I think actually, now that I'm thinking about this semi-pro thing, I definitely think that that's the route to go. Like a minor league kind of thing for NFL players. And college ball is still going to be great. I don't think we're going to lose. People still love their schools. They still rep their schools. I mean, look at the NCAA. Like, I mean, there's 90% of basketball for the NCAA is freshmen, and they leave in one and done. But March Madness is still one of the biggest events of the year for college sports in general. So I definitely don't think they're going to lose out on having, you know, not a lot of star players play, you know what I mean, on football teams or whatever. So that's what I think. Whatever they're doing now is not fair, so they need to fix it somehow. I want to know what you guys think about this. What should the NCAA do, or players should do, in order to remedy, you know, this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And again, follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson. I will see you guys next time. Love you.